Hello everyone and welcome back to Binding Blade Death Roulette Wheel thing with Danny again.
I'm still trapped.
Yeah.
Ooh, this map's fun.
I really like this map. This is one of my favorites, especially early on.
So we were talking about this earlier, but the extra bridge is here as compared to FE7.
Yes, I love this bridge so much.
Yeah, you see, like, I feel like I only recently discovered the school of Halberdier Marcus, and I feel like if you don't have Halberdier Marcus, the extra bridge is just another point to choke, and like you have precious few units who can choke points. Like maybe Deike can choke a point, maybe Lance can choke a point. Wait. Hold on a second.
Yeah, wouldn't it be nice if I had a Deike right now?
Or a Lance.
Quite sad indeed.
Didn't Lance die too? Was I wrong about
right.
that?
Lance isn't here either, that's right.
Yeah. Already forgotten. Wow.
I would have remembered very
Already
quickly.
forgotten.
So we're going to Halberd
The disrespect.
Marcus.
Disrespect.
There is disrespect. Don't worry, we have Alan, and Alan's all we need, right?
We have Alan for now.
So true, so true.
He's going to Allentown though.
So we're just gonna let you guys rock up here.
I am pulling up the reinforcement data, by the way, because I know that the reinforcements can like really be trouble sometimes.
Ooh.
I know like it's the Rutger ones, so they're like famous. But
yeah, I still barely remember where they are. I always get jump scared by where they start. I think Rutger starts like here or something.
I don't get jump scared, but it's because they're like such a big famous one that I always look it up, right? Like there are reinforcements. There's some reinforcements that are easy to forget about, and then there's some that stick in your fucking minds.
Yes. Also, my starting position, because it's based off of like what number unit you are in the positioning, so I can't do my usual turn 1 because some units are starting in different tiles.
Also, there was some RNG to this map in particular starting position. Or is that next map? I think one of the maps, unless it's FE7. Oh, no, it's FE7.
FE7.
It's the FE7 map right before Merlinus. There's some RNG, right? Between like which X-Pro ends up there?
It's determined by whether you play Lin mode or not, I believe. Because if you play Lin mode, the positioning of your units in the unit list is slightly different because of recruiting them in Lin mode.
Oh, like Matthew and
Yes.
Matthew and Dorcas?
So units like Matthew and Dorcas are in slightly different unit positions, so it deploys them differently.
That's interesting.
It really is. It throws me off every time. The once every couple years that I play Lin mode, and I go, wait, why are you starting here?
Wait, you don't always play Lin mode?
Sadly, no.
But like, so, okay, allow me to make an argument for why it's actually objectively correct to play Lin mode.
I'm listening.
You get to kill Sane twice in the same playthrough.
Okay, I like that idea because it means we're giving the Knight's Crest to Kent.
No. We're selling the Knight's Crest. Funds rank, baby! Oh wait, no, that hurts the funds rank.
That hurts your funds rank.
We're hoarding the Knight's Crest for the funds rank. We need to S rank, or is it S or A?
S rank.
We need to max, so we need to S rank, Lin mode so that we can have a child with her.
Oh,
wow, that's pathetic. Our bulky armor knight is taking 1 less damage than he's dealing.
Jeez, this guy's so
I love
bulky.
you, Boars. I love you, Boars.
I think we have to silver.
Yeah, to be fair, the fucking calves are bulky.
Yeah, the calves are really bulky.
And he's not even doubling them with the silver lance. That's a yikes moment.
It really is.
You can halberd, right?
I could, but it's a sword cav.
57's basically 100.
It pretty much is.
This is what I mean by like that extra bridge. What if you only had to choke 2 bridges? Like you could put Marcus on 1 bridge and like
everyone
Boars on the other. Like theoretically, Boars could actually tank like a nomad and a cap, right? He's taking 6, so
So that's
I think you probably could.
10.
Can you surround this nomad?
I can if I
Like,
use
unironically?
Marcus. If I use Marcus, I can.
How does Boar's Walt and not Lance do against...
This is so funny.
This is a better hit rate than the halberd.
It is.
Choke the point with Ellen.
I could. Does she live a hit? Funnily enough. Oh wow, she actually lives a hit from this guy. How?
That was a meme, but do it if it... The Armor Slayer! Yes, do the Armor Slayer!
So,
Oh wait, Binding Blade Nomads are bugged to not take effective damage from the Armor Slayer.
oh, that's
Even though
so
they're armored
true.
units. That's really weird.
18. If all of these connect, we kill, I believe.
Okay. Okay.
We just have to hit a 56.
And you can surround him as a backup plan, right?
No.
If you move Marcus, but then you don't have your backup plan anymore.
Yeah.
I don't like this. I don't like this.
Either. It's really funny though. So
This
that's why I
is the
do like it.
frustrating. This is the frustrating thing about This is the frustrating thing about early game Binding Blade, right? Is like the maps are decent challenges, right? Like I enjoy this level of difficulty. However, the hit rates are so low that sometimes the game just decides you've executed a perfect strategy, but you
didn't
don't
roll high
succeed.
enough.
Yeah, and the frustrating thing about that, because like that happens throughout the Binding Blade, but it is especially frustrating in WoW. Good job. Good job. It is especially frustrating in the early game because you don't have enough units to have backup attacks, right?
Yes.
Like generally, I feel like in the mid to late game, you're like, this is how we kill this person, and you know, say Trek has like the Horse Slayer, right, or something, and then it's like a 70, and then if he misses, Zealot and Dorothy can team up to do something, right, or whatever. In like chapter 12, those are units you field in chapter 12, right?
Oh, of course. You need to field all of the mountain units and all the Knight's Crest users, so you can train them all.
Yeah, that way you go to Geet's map.
Yes.
But yeah, I guess like more realistically, like Echidna and whoever, right? Oh, you can surround him.
I can even finish
Boars.
Boars. Because
Please
Boars
do
does
it
like
for our
7
boy.
damage.
Do it for our boy.
The sword having more hit over the lance, even though it's triangle advantage, will also always be a very Binding Blade moment.
Yeah, it's also a very FE4 moment.
That's also very true. Good job, Boars.
Stabby, stabby. Oh,
You do
I
a
love
thing.
this guy. I love this guy. He's so fucking hype. He's so fucking hype. So here's yo. Rezdo. Mage
he do
killer.
take mages now. Nice door key. I'll use it
Now
on
the
all
mages
doors
are only
now.
gonna overkill him by like 5 damage instead of by 7.
I like that you added the 2 because he gets doubled.
Did you think he was not getting doubled? Did you think that our speed blessed boars was doubling sages? Doesn't he have 3 AS, so he can't even double 0 AS enemies?
Yeah,
Or is
he
that
has,
barter?
he has 3 AS at base, but he got a speed level.
Oh, true. I forgot that happened.
So we thought he was going to be one of the people that got rolled because he got a decent level up.
We have this map and the next map, and then we're never forced to deploy to anyone. So my boy just has to make it 2 fucking chapters. And then he's safe.
Yes.
Although, speaking of whether or not Boars is getting fielded in chapter 6, I was thinking about this, right?
Uh-huh.
Is it perhaps advantageous for you to deploy 1 or 2 shitty units you're not using every map? And you
Yes.
functionally then have 1 or 2 less deployment slots. But it's also like, you know, say we're going to 8x, and you deploy like base level Wade to just sit in the corner and play with himself, and then it spins, and sorry, Seagull comes and kills him. You
That
put him
is-
in fire tiles.
That is exactly the play. So
Okay.
something like 8X is going to have quite a few scrub units deployed, just so they can take up wheel slots.
The warp skip chapters, like 14X,
Basically, yes.
are 14X is basically going to be 14X is going to be so funny because you're going to be like the only people I deployed that matter are like Saul and Rutger, right?
Basically.
And then you have like Wendy, Sophia, everyone and their fucking mother. And then it's gonna spin and land on Elfin, who you forgot to undeploy or something.
Yep, that'll be exactly what happens.
Are you fielding Elfin ever before Percival?
No.
Okay.
The dancer is not getting fielded before Percy joins.
Okay, because like 14X Elfin would have been extra tragic. I guess you can 2-turn warp skip. Well, I think you need Elfin if you're gonna warp skip.
Oh, that's right. Well, Rutger would have to survive up there by himself.
Is that happening though?
I'm not
Like,
sure. I don't even know if this is
Rutger's good and
happening.
all, right? But like I'm not one of those anti-Rutger heads. I think there's a current like sort of surgence of as Priestess says, I will out Priestess as a Rutger hater. 2023 is the year that we stop pretending Butger is good.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I am not on board with that philosophy. I think the Butker is a top 4 unit.
I have been seeing a lot
Rutger.
of that.
I called him Butker.
Yeah, I heard you say that. I've been hearing a
It was
lot
on
of
purpose.
like, oh, Rutger's not actually that good. I'm kind of like, what?
So, the argument is that his combat can be replicated by Shanna, other than like the meme things, right? Like the big meme thing is that you get 100% crit, and I think that you and I would probably both agree that like that is not an actual contributor to Rutger being good,
No.
right? Like you can do not Priscilla. Yeah, it is Priscilla. Cecilia, fuck. Who's the
Clarine is who you're
Clarine.
thinking, I think.
Yeah. Like they're the same. Like they join in the same map, in the same world. Like I'm easy to get them confused.
Yeah, because Priscilla joins down here and Clarine joins
Yeah.
in the castle.
What's in that house? In FE6, it's like a talisman or some shit, right?
So this is a steel blade, and this is an angel robe in this map. In FE7, it's an iron blade in Priscilla.
Oh, I thought in FE7 that was Urk. Wait, no, Urk leaves the village in the cutscene.
Yeah, Urk runs up here, and then you can run over and recruit
And
him.
He has the goddess icon in his inventory.
Yes, he has a goddess
That's
icon in his
okay.
starting inventory.
That's why I'm thinking goddess icon up there. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't getting Mandela affected. Fucking Nelson blasting with his mind lasers. But so the argument, right, to get back to the is Rutger bad? The argument that is being made is that Shanna can replicate his combat and his flying. And if that's the case, why is she not considered to be the top 4 unit? And he is, and yeah, that's the big one, is strength. Like I'm a Shanna head, right? I'm a Shanna head. I think
love
that her
Shanna,
combat is
but-
actually good. I know that there's an also a resurgence of like Shanna is bad. Can we stop pretending she's good? I think that is I think that is similarly like misplaced. Like, you know, Shanna makes up for that bad strength by like training her lance rank and using killers and silvers. But like Rutger can do that shit with an iron.
Yes.
And Rutger is dealing more damage with killers and silvers, and he will hit one-rounding thresholds that Shanna won't. That's not to say that Shanna's combat's not great. I do think it's only great for a period of time. I do think Shanna's combat falls off. Probably around like 15, 16-ish. It becomes like less, like you've got Milady. Around the time you've got Milady, maybe a little bit after that, Shanna's combat like really pales in comparison.
Yeah, her strength does not keep up.
But like,
Oh my goodness.
conversely, Tate is not doing better combat than her at that time as well.
No, you really gotta
'cause
pour
that's
into
the sort
Tate
of-
to make her better.
That's sort of like the argument as well. You know, Shanna's combat doesn't keep up, so Tate is better. Well, no, because Tate's combat is slightly better, but like it doesn't make up the difference. It's still not enough to justify it. Whereas Rutger's combat, I don't think falls off. Like, Rutger has the strength and the speed, right?
Yes. And 30 critical if you're into that.
Yeah, and 30 critical if you're into that. And like, okay, here's the other thing, right? Even if you are just saying like, oh, well, Shanna can like make up for it with weapon ranks, right? Shanna is going to have silver and killer lances. Shanna is not going to have silver and killer swords. She does have swords, and she can if you like want to super grind her. Like, didn't you do fucking I keep wanting to say Alondite Shanna, but it's not. It's the Durandal.
Yeah, I have done Durandal Shanna before, but that did take doing a lot of weapon rank, a lot of sword usage in the Western Isles. She pretty much exclusively used swords for a long time.
And like, if you want to, you know, you mentioned it earlier. Like, look at this weapon triangle advantage, but the sword has more hit than the lance anyway, right?
Yes.
It's not that Shanna can't do things using a killer or silver lance. In fact, she does quite a lot of things. It helps her not fall off as fast.
It also helps almost no one else can use the Silver Lance at that point, because your other Silver
True.
Lance users are Jarrett and Marcus.
Yeah.
5, 1, 2.
Are you baiting the archer with Shanna?
Nah. I wanted to count the tiles to make sure she wouldn't be in range. Now we're gonna finish this guy off.
Do you mind if I gush about Kagasaga for a second? Because you just counted tiles and reminded me of for those of you unenlightened plebs who have not played Tearing Saga, Tearing Saga has this really cool feature where you can lay down up to 5 flags on the map. So you can check an enemy's range and lay down a flag to see where it ends. Now, obviously, you know, like, modern Fire Emblem has spoiled us to, like, leave on ranges and stuff. But the flags are useful for, like, if you count out squares and figure out where they need to be, and you can lay down the flag so that you don't forget while you're moving your unit, right? Or when you're doing an action in Kantoing or whatever, right?
Because I would also love to have those flags just for my own unit movement to say, oh, I need to go here to reach this tile next turn or something.
No, I think those flags would still be useful in modern Fire Emblem. Like, take Fates, right? If you realize, or I guess Fates doesn't have Spur. Does Fates have Spur skills, like Spur Speed, Spur Strength? It doesn't, right?
It does. It just has rallies.
If you're playing Engage and there's, like, skills that rely on adjacency, and for some reason your strategy relies on them, even though they're, in my opinion, pretty low impact, like, maybe you figure out where Tamara, because of the crit, needs to stand for your Iron Man, right? To minimize crit. And you mark that spot because you can't move her yet because she's doing a backup attack or something, right?
Yes.
Just being able to mark them. Like, it's a super hypothetical and probably never comes up. Mostly because it involves using Tamara, which is sponge. But, like, the flags are super useful. I would obviously love to... Ooh!
I should have used the Silver Lance.
Lance would have hit, though. Lance would have hit.
He really would have.
All I'm saying is Lance would have hit. Oh, Chad! Move, Chad!
Yeah, Chad is getting out. You have done your job. Does someone have a drink?
Is Chad gonna hide in the forest and fight pirates?
He sure is.
Or is Lou gonna do that?
We're gonna let Chad do that because it's sillier.
Okay. I do think that, like, because there's some with hand axes, right? So Chad can't, like, kill them.
He can't kill them, but they're gonna have almost no, if any, hit on him.
Okay, but counterpoint. Next map, there are actually 2 brigands that have literal 0 hit on base Chad. You can train him to level 20 for free.
Oh, that's also true.
Can't do that, and I do think that, like, I've made it clear I'm not a Lou head. But I think he's good, and I think if you want to use him, this is the best map to train him. Like, if you don't train Lou here, there's probably not much he's doing the rest of the run.
Yeah, it's hard to get him to catch back up.
And like in a run like this, I think you want to train as many units as possible because you can't really plan to not use Lu. The wheel might say you're using Lu.
It could.
Not
It
even
very
in like
well
a
could.
you need a mage. Like I don't use a mage usually until we get like fucking Cecilia is my mage.
But I definitely need a unit at some point.
Yeah, so the wheel might decide like your only units are like Rebecca. Rebecca's not in this game. Fuck, I'm getting confused with FE7 because we're on an FE7 map.
I kind of
Okay, FE6 unit. The wheel might say you only have Lapis and Lu.
True. Lapis is my favorite FE6 unit.
Yeah.
My favorite part was where she promoted from Myrmidon into Wyvern Lord.
There's 3 options. She can go Hero and Swordmaster too.
Oh, that's so
Our
true.
friend Tegan made a patch where she's in the Binding Blade. She replaces one of the shit calves in 7. I forget whether it's Trek or Noah. It's the one who
gosh.
I think it's the one who like usually baits the wyverns if you don't do the 2-turn.
Oh, then it would be Trek then. Okay, then I'm okay with this. I'm not okay with this though.
Boars kill. Good
Good job,
told you he could do it. 63, more like 163. He never misses.
Sure.
My favorite thing about
these guys.
my favorite thing that happens in Fire Emblem, right, is you ever have a unit who like is constantly hitting their low percentage hit rates and they feel more reliable than the person who has like 80s and 90s, even though like realistically it is the other way around.
Yes, I love that feel so much.
I was playing Vision Quest and that was happening where like I had I think it was Bosco, who's like a playable soldier, and Zoya, who's another playable soldier. And Zoya kept having, like, she kept facing 50 and 60% hit rates, but she always hit them. And Bosco would have, like, 80s and 90s, and he usually hit them, but he missed once. And so I benched him because he was unreliable. Even though, like, again, realistically, that's not how that works.
But it feels unreliable, and at the end of the day, it's all about how it feels.
I do love... One of the things that I love about Fire Emblem is, like, using a unit who you can look at the numbers and, like, say this unit is worse. And not, like, in a, like, you've misevaluated, right? And you're using a bad unit by accident. But, like, you look at the numbers and you're like, I just got a new unit. And this new unit is objectively better than the one I spent the last 5 maps training. But I'm going to use the one I spent the last 5 maps training because, like, I bonded with them, right? Like...
That was me playing Engage my first time. Me dragging Saline, Klon, and From off of the bench in Chapter 18 or something.
I dragged Klon through so much of the game until a pre-promote joined that just had better stats than him around the board, despite the fact that he was a higher level. Because I was playing on hard mode, so it was random stats, right?
Yeah.
So I dragged Klon through a large portion of the game, and then like a pre-promote joined who just had better stats in every single way than my Klon, despite the fact that Klon was at a higher level than the pre-promote. And for those of you who are thinking that I discovered how good Pantareo was on my first playthrough, that pre-promote is fucking Linden.
So tragic. My poor boy. He tried his best.
My Klon in Chapter 18, my hyper-invested Speed-Wings Klon had less speed than Linden.
That is so sad to hear. That
Yeah.
actually does damage.
I also spent the first Angelic Robe on Alfred, but I ditched his fucking cancerous ass very fast.
I gave Alfred, I think, 3 stat boosters. I gave him an Angel Robe, a Speedwing, and I think a Skill Book too. And one of my first Master Seals.
Oh, see, I never even sealed him. I ditched him, I would say probably Chapter 6-ish.
Oh,
I'm trying to remember who all I was bringing, because, like, I thought Amber was bad because his starting inventory doesn't flatter him. There's a lot of units in Engage whose, like, starting class or starting inventory is, like...
really bad.
Really bad for them.
And it gives them a really bad starting impression.
Yeah. I ditched Vander pretty quickly too, quicker than I think you should. Oh, I used like Chloe and Louis long term in my first playthrough because they just feel good. Oh, here he comes. Here's our boy. Here's the worst unit in the game.
True.
Oh, are you gonna do the thing where you use Chlorine to box the fucking guys who won't attack her? Like to trap them?
Thought about it, but I do know you can use. Gets doubled, okay.
I might be taking a freebie. Okay, no one else can reach Wade. I thought that Cav might be able to like loop around to the other side.
Twang. Well, guess Shanna's a bad
0
unit.
times 2.
It's a little awkward.